Impressive win for the Boston Celtics. Payton Pritchard was awesome. I was impressed with what Jaylen Brown didn't do. And when does Joe Mazzulla get credit? It's right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Beantown, be ever ready. It's the C's. Who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT. Karalis recap the madness every game, every practice. Primetime Depp and D White on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Your team is the Boston Celtics, and I talk about them Monday through Friday, bonus podcasts on the weekends when they play. So subscribe. The show is free. It's available everywhere. It's on YouTube. Get into the comment section there and share your thoughts with everybody. If you're new to the show, I'm John Karalis, beat writer for Boston Sports Journal. I've been covering the Celtics for about 20 years in some form. I've been doing this podcast for 10, and I've written a couple of books about the team. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers just bet $5. If it wins, you get $300 in bonus bets. Sign up at FanDuel.com. Super impressive win. I'll get to that in just a second. Later on, I'll answer the question, or ask the question at least, when does Joe Mazzulla start to get credit for some of this stuff? We'll get into Jaylen Brown, his performance. Xavier Tillman gets a start after a bunch of DNPs. Jordan Walsh, career highs. Like that's all coming up in the second segment. Impressive win is where I want to start with this. This was a back-to-back tough game in Minnesota. Apparently there were travel issues, so they had a delay in getting into Cleveland. So everything was lined up. No Derrick White, no Neemias Queta. There was every reason in the book to kind of chalk this up and not have it go well for the Celtics. And early on, I wasn't sure if it was going to go well. Celtics had a lead. It got cut to 2. They were fouling. They weren't rebounding well. They, even in the second quarter, it was kind of like a back and forth. Donovan Mitchell wasn't having a good game yet. I was just waiting for Mitchell to kind of have his explosion. So it just, the whole thing just seemed like the Celtics were on their way to a loss. It was expected to be a loss, but they kept on fighting. Payton Pritchard came out hot right away. He never let up, and the Celtics end up building a big fourth quarter lead, a big enough fourth quarter lead, 11 points that they carried from somewhere around the 4-minute mark to right about the 2-minute mark. 2 minutes ago, a minute 50 and change to go. It was at 11, just enough. It was just enough to like squeak to the finish line. It's like your car ran out of gas. You have a big enough lead, and then you just get to that checkered flag right before the other car catches up to you. It was, I knew Donovan Mitchell was going to do something, and he finally hits a couple of shots at the end. I'm sure the Locked On Cavs podcast would be like, yeah, thanks for showing up, Donovan. Like, come on, where were you? But the Celtics, it's not always great. Their execution sometimes was not great, but I think given the circumstances, I think Jaylen Brown was super tired. I think he was gassed by the end of this. Thought this to me is an impressive win. And to go into Cleveland on that back-to-back, you look at what the Celtics have done now. They've won 3 out of their last 4. They have beaten Orlando, Detroit, the Cavs. That's teams with 12, 12, and 16 wins. They're a half game behind the Cavs. They're 8-5 in November. A couple of bad losses, Utah and Brooklyn, but Detroit and Cleveland are good wins. So I think not only was this win an impressive one, you look at the totality of it all, I thought this ended up being, even though we nitpick here and there, and they have stretches where they don't look good. I think obviously, as I said in yesterday's podcast, they are trying so many different things. Like they started Xavier Tillman. They go to Amari Williams. They go to him early. They don't go to him until the last minute. Like he gets in early. It's like iffy. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't look like he knows how to rebound. And then in the last second, Joe's like, Amari, get in there. And he ends up defending the final play. It ends up being, I don't even think that Evan Mobley got the shot off, but it's just kind of wild what the Celtics are trying to piece together. And the fact that they're doing all of this and still coming out with wins, they're 11-9. They're a half game behind the Cavs. That means the Cavs are having a bit of a disappointing start to the season, but the Celtics, they don't quit, man. They don't quit. So this was obviously a really good one. Payton Pritchard, 42 points, was just on fire from the beginning. Shows up, first shot of the game, like jump ball, 2 steps in, boom, hits a 3-pointer. The best part, I think, about Pritchard's night, 10 points in the first, 8 in the second, 9 in the third, 15 in the fourth. Now, then he finishes strong in the fourth quarter. He scored 11 of his, 11 of his 15 came in the last 3 minutes and 7 seconds of the fourth quarter. It was Pritchard's night. And it's so impressive to see him working in the paint. He keeps doing it. He's not the biggest guy in the world. I'm a few inches taller than he is. And he's just out there working his way into the paint. The game clinching shot was just another get your shoulder into the defender's kind of chest, drive, and then because you know what you're going to do and you know that the defender's going to have to react to you, that just gives you that half second, that little space that you need. It gets to that elbow and it's a little step back, fade away jumper in the paint. That paint non-restricted area is Payton's playground. The way he works and gets to that spot, it's so he gets so low. That size, like I talk about it like it's a disadvantage, but really he gets so low that he can do that little push off without, if he doesn't extend, which he sort of did once. It was kind of an iffy call, whatever. You get called for an offensive foul on those, but if you don't extend, you get that little bit, you keep that elbow, that arm kind of bent. You have that opportunity to get your shoulder in, move their momentum a little bit. And once you get that momentum moving in the right direction, you can just give them a little push, and they keep going, and you get to step back and you just clear that space. It's super impressive. It's a great little guard thing to do. And Pritchard, because he also has a good base, good, strong kind of, he doesn't get knocked off his spot very easily. He can get to those spots and finish. And then he's 6 of 11 from 3 on top of it. So it's a hot shooting night, gets to the line 6 times, perfect from the line. Most of that damage, obviously, in the fourth quarter, getting fouled. 42 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and only 2 turnovers. Just a spectacular game from Payton Pritchard. What Jaylen didn't do was as impressive as anything he did, and I'll talk about that when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. It pays off to be right. And with Prize Picks, the more you're right, the more decisions you have to make, the better off you are. And it's a holiday season. So you got bowl games, big basketball games, playoff pushes, and it's all happening at the same time. Prize Picks is the easiest way to get in on daily fantasy. You pick more or less on at least 2 player projections. If you are correct, then you can win. You lock in your lineup, you're in the game. It's simple, fast, available in 45 states. That includes California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. So they've added an extra layer of excitement for the holiday sports schedule. You can create a lineup that takes less than a minute. The whole process is smooth and intuitive. A huge range of unique stats, fantasy score, field goals attempted, free throws made, turnovers, whatever fits your strategy. The early payout feature is a great bonus because when your lineup starts strong, you can get the option to cash out early. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. So you put your first $5 lineup in, use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You can get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups at Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA. We're both on the #1 sports podcast platform in the world, the #1 sports podcast network in the world. So Locked On Celtics is the #1 Celtics podcast. Locked On NBA has got you covered with 2 podcasts. Game Night's got every game covered every night, 7 days a week. Locked On NBA has you covered with the big storylines during Monday through Friday. So check it out wherever you get this podcast. Payton Pritchard was awesome. He was the finisher. Jaylen Brown was not the finisher, not in the traditional sense. And that was really what made that game from him most impressive, because he had 19 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, triple-double, his 4th career triple-double. But he was 3 of 13 shooting, but he was 12 of 16 from the line. So first of all, I think the complaining about the officiating, maybe that the war on Jaylen Brown is over. So he gets his 16 free throws. The Celtics weirdly get 29 free throw attempts to the Cavs 13. Before I get to continue this with Jaylen here, what really makes this win more super impressive is that they lost all of the margins that they try to win, but they finally win the free throw battle, and it's almost like an inverted win for the Celtics. This is a game that they would normally lose. They gave up 94 shots. They only took 81. They gave up 52 three-point attempts. The Cavs made 20. The Celtics were 14 of 40. 35% is okay, a little below average, but they lost the three-pointers by 6 made three-pointers. They points off turnovers. They had 19 turnovers for 25 Cavs points, where the Cavs had 14 for 20 Celtics points. So they lose that. They lose offensive rebounds, second chance points. They lost that by 2, 18 to 16. They lost all of the margins that they're always trying to win. So like Joe will sit there and you see the clip hanging around on social media where it's like, it's a great mindset win. And it is. But at the same time, it's like, man, you made a lot of mistakes. You made a lot of mistakes, but 23 of 29 from the free throw line, 9 of 13 for the Cavs. So plus 14 at the line. You're never going to see that during this season. It's one of the rare chances to see the Celtics get more free throws than the other team. It's like that flower, that corpse flower that blooms and smells like death. It's like you get to see it's one day and you're like, oh my God, this stinks. But you got to see it. This box score kind of stinks for the Celtics, but the free throws are where they won this game. Jaylen Brown, 12 of 16. And obviously Payton Pritchard's box score doesn't stink. I'll get to some of the other impressive performances, individual performances in a second, but Jaylen, 3 of 13. Like I said before, I think he was gassed. I think he really is kind of getting tired, and he was questionable in the Minnesota game. They were listing him as lower back soreness. I do think he might be due for a day off somewhere along the way here, but also if he can get through the next couple of games, the Celtics do have, because of the cup, which is a whole other thing, and probably talk about that on a separate podcast coming up this week, because the schedule is so stupid with this NBA Cup. He'll finally get a chance to rest. So I think he might be just trying to get through this stretch of games, but he looks tired. But what he didn't do was try to take over the game. The best clip you're going to see is Payton Pritchard going up against Darius Garland, and Jaylen was, on the left side, and Pritchard, this is in the closing seconds, Pritchard's just kind of like settling everybody down, and Jaylen's just like, go, you got it. Pritchard in the closing minutes, best ball handler on the team, best free throw shooter on the team, and clearly having a hot night. Jaylen recognizing all of that and being like, you got this. It's fine. I'm here. Like, he did hit a clutch shot. Like, Payton did a lot, but Jaylen did hit a clutch three-pointer down the stretch. He had some really, really important assists. One to Pritchard cutting baseline, one to Jordan Walsh cutting baseline. The Celtics did a lot of pigeon hunting against the Cavs with Darius Garland. They were going after him all the time, and that drew a lot of attention. I think Jaylen maybe tried to do a little too much, got a couple of turnovers there late, but because of all that attention, there were openings to cut, and the Celtics did find a couple of those, and Jaylen found those passes. 2 of them in the fourth quarter were huge. But him just letting Pritchard cook, just go, you got it. That was great recognition by him. And you let the guy who's got it going finish the job. Good leadership. That's good leadership. So that makes a 3 of 13 night a really great night for Jaylen Brown, who did other things too. Obviously when you get a triple double, you do other things, but that was great. Other individual performances. Shout out Xavier Tillman, who I still think needs to shoot the open 3-pointer. I think there were a couple that he passed up, but he did go 1 for 5. It's okay that he went 1 for 5. He needs to shoot the open 3-pointers. He just has to, because if he hits a couple of them, then you have to pay closer attention to him. It's my only criticism, but he played great defense. He had 3 steals. He hit a couple of other shots. He just, for a guy, 9 of 10 DNPs. And the one that he played was like 5 minutes against the Nets. I think that might've been garbage time. That's to come in here and all of a sudden get 30 minutes in a start. Joe Mazzulla just pressing buttons. Let's try this one. Let's try that. And it worked. Tillman was really good in this game. Jordan Walsh also really good in this game. The steal, it was DeAndre Hunter. He just kind of ripped it, and he said, I was kind of going for the jump ball and they didn't call it. So I was just, let me just have this then. He took it, got fouled by Donovan Mitchell, gets 2 clutch free throws in the fourth quarter. 14 points, just 11 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds, a couple of steals, a block shot. He was just kind of everywhere. You need these little performances to fill in these gaps. And, him, Tillman, Anthony Simons, 8 of 14, second quarter, huge portion. This is a clutch stretch. Regular listeners, you everydayers, the people who are with me every Monday through Friday, I love to talk about clutch performances that aren't late in the fourth quarter. Like what Payton Pritchard did was clutch. What Anthony Simons did at the beginning of the second quarter, I would argue is also clutch, because the Celtics weren't great at that point. The Cavs had made a run. They'd cut a lead. I think it was a double-digit lead that they'd cut down to 2 after the first quarter. And Simons was really good to start that second quarter. And it was back and forth until a massive run at the end of the second quarter. But without Simons doing what he did, without Jaylen on the floor, without Pritchard on the floor, they needed him to be the guy, and he was aggressive and he stepped up. So that stretch at the beginning of the second quarter was just as important as Payton Pritchard's stretch at the end of the fourth quarter, because it helped the Celtics kind of stay afloat, just kind of hang there until they went on I think it was a 17-4 run to go into the half up 7. So that from Simons was really good. You get good minutes from Hugo Gonzalez, who had a steal against Hunter that goes out of bounds, Celtics ball. Gonzalez comes down, hits a 3-pointer. That's a massive play. Celtics went on a 7-0 run. This was part of a 7-0 run where the lead was 4. It was just 4. And then they push it to 11, 4.5 minutes to go. They keep that lead at 11. They go back and forth, keep that lead at 11 till 1:55. That Gonzalez steal and 3, you didn't get much from Gonzalez in this game, right? He only played not even 7.5 minutes. But that one shot was worth it, because 3 points, 1 steal, super clutch. So that was, you got big minutes from him there. The I don't know, like little guy, little performances from these guys. Baylor Shireman did a couple of things. And which brings me to Joe Mazzulla. And I'm just wondering, when is he going to start getting the credit that he deserves for this? I know people are going to be mad. I know there are going to be people who are mad because I see it all the time. Tons of Joe Mazzulla hate, but he's got to get some credit for this. That's coming up when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, receiver gets hot, defense tightens up, or the momentum flips for a turnover. After a turnover, FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. You got live spreads and money lines that adjust instantly. Player props update as the guys heat up. And you can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. Sign up at FanDuel.com. You get that. You place that first $5 bet. If you're a new customer, you can get $300 in bonus bets. When you sign up, make sure you use the tools that are available to you. Set a limit, set your budget, whatever you can afford to lose, so you're not going overboard. When you hit cold streaks, FanDuel wants to help you gamble responsibly. If you hit that limit, come back next time. So head on over to FanDuel.com, place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On Fantasy Basketball. It is here on the #1 sports podcasting network in the universe, Locked On Podcasting Network. Really appreciate you everydayers checking out Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Josh Lloyd's got you covered. You want to win your league? You listen to Josh. He's got everything covered for you. We couldn't do this #1 stuff without you. You really make this work. You make this whole thing go. And I do appreciate you all being here every Monday through Friday, checking out all the other shows. Check out Locked On Cavs, hear their perspective. It's always good to hear the other team's perspective. Like I'm sitting here going, blah, blah, blah. This is amazing. You want to hear what they have to say about the loss and get a different perspective. So go check that out as well. So Joe Mazzulla, look, the Celtics are 11-9. It's not like they're tearing up the league, but they're 11-9. They have beaten the Magic. They've beaten the Pistons. They've beaten the Cavs. They have a lot of quality wins. They have some tough losses too, but these guys play hard. These guys never quit. Have you seen them screwing around out there? Have you seen anybody out of line? There are guys who don't know what they're doing. There are guys out there who are like, in one place and not supposed to be there. I talked yesterday about the, roll Josh, like Josh Minot out there not knowing he's supposed to pick and roll. But these guys are doing all of, they're learning, they're growing, they are trying like hell to win these games. The execution at the end is not always great, but they're finding ways to win. I'll put it this way. If everything was exactly the same this season, but the Celtics fired Joe Mazzulla over the summer and they hired Tom Thibodeau, I think there'd be a lot of people saying, see, look at Tom Thibodeau getting the most out of his team. And people would be pointing at the roster and being like, you're starting Josh Minot in some games. You're starting Jordan Walsh at some games. You get a guy that was a cast-off for Minnesota last year. You get a guy who was, a late second-round pick that was a DNP for half this year. And for the first couple of seasons, couldn't get any consistent minutes. Was in the G League. And those guys are starting. You're getting Neemias Queta, out there giving you productive minutes. You're finding different combinations. And sometimes those combinations, it doesn't always work. Like I said in yesterday's show, sometimes those combinations, the border collies are trying to herd the chickens and the chickens are just running around like crazy. But a lot of times you get the chickens in where they're supposed to be and they're doing what they're supposed to do. So it is a testament to a lot of people. It's a testament to the developmental side of the Celtics. It's a testament to the guys. First and foremost, is a testament to the guys. though the Minots and Walshes and Quetas, who didn't play in this game, but the guys, Xavier Tillman after the game was asked about like, what, how do you stay ready? And he's like, I'm a pro. And he didn't say it like that, but he said, I'm a pro. I know what I need to do to be ready. If I'm not playing, it's film, it's this, it's that. If I have to coach guys up to stay engaged in the game, I will. Like, and you know what? Like, that is a testament to them. It's also a testament to Joe and the staff for keeping these guys ready, for setting the expectations, and these guys living up to the expectations. The locker room is a good locker room. Joe is hard on some guys, and he has to be. You see how he coaches guys up. I see him, like, especially a guy like Minot. He's on Minot's butt the whole time. He's on him. Just like, if he screws up, he's yelling at him, but he's pulling him aside and also encouraging him, right? Like, he understands who can take it and who can't. I just think, is Joe a perfect coach? No. Is he the best coach in the NBA? No. But he's also a good coach who, by the way, has won a championship and is getting the most out of these guys. 10 different starters this season so far for the Celtics. It's been 20 games, and they've started 10 different guys. Most teams in that situation would be like the Pacers at 4-16. The Pacers have gone through trials and tribulations, and they've had injuries and all of that stuff. No one questions Rick Carlisle, but they're 4-16, right? Sometimes things happen. I just think that Joe, like, the people who just hate Joe and think he sucks, you're never going to get your mind changed. At some point, you just have to soften on this and understand that he is responsible. A bad coach would not have this Celtics team at 11-9, right? These guys are not, they wouldn't be executing like this for a bad coach. This would be much worse with a bad coach. Maybe if Joe was actually as bad as some people think he is, the Celtics would be, in the Pacers, Hornets, Bucks position and not where they are. So I don't know. I feel like the hate has gone too far. The Celtics, at the very least, play hard, play well, and doesn't always go great, but at least acknowledge that Joe is responsible, has a strong share in the Celtics winning these games, being in games against the good teams. And so, yeah, that's it. Again, impressive win here for the Celtics, 117-115 over the Cavs. Now, you still got work to do. The schedule doesn't ease up until a couple of weeks now. Next week, really. You get the Knicks on Tuesday, Washington Thursday, the Lakers on Friday. That's a tough stretch. And then Sunday on the road against Toronto. Then finally, 3 days off. That game against Milwaukee Thursday at 8:00, the 11th. The cup. The you didn't get to the cup final thing. 3 days off. Detroit at home. 3 days off. Then you play a 3 and 4 stretch, then 3 more days off, and then you're on the road for a road trip after Christmas, and we move on. It's a tough stretch. The Knicks game is going to be very difficult. The Lakers game is going to be very difficult. We'll see how they do, but I'll be here for it. And you know what? Every time you think the Celtics are not going to do well, they do well. So I don't know. Embrace it. My final word is embrace it. Embrace these guys, because I think, I don't know, maybe I'm too caught up in some of the social media stuff where I see people being angry. I don't know. Maybe I got to go out to the real world a little bit more. I feel like people should like this team. This is a very likable team. This is a hardworking team. This in a vacuum, forget next year, forget last year, forget all that. This team right here is a very likable team. Enjoy it for what it is. I'll be back tomorrow for a podcast, so make sure you are subscribed. I got bonus podcasts, so like Friday night when they play the Lakers, I will have a bonus podcast after that game for you. So subscribe, show's free. It's available everywhere. It's on YouTube. You can get there and get into the comment section, share your thoughts with everybody. And then I would love it. You want to give me a gift for the holidays? Share the podcast, spread the word, tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast. Here on the Locked On Podcast Network, it's your team every day.